This is going to be the first time I've ever podcasted on Facebook Live. I usually do it on either YouTube and Instagram, but I don't know. Instagram's kind of weird. I'm waiting for Mr. Psycho Sane, Jaime Salas, to join me. Bring him on camera. There it is. Let's see. It's at. Let's see how this happens. So it all goes down. I've never done this before, so we're popping cherries here, ladies and gentlemen. We are popping cherries. Let's see how this works. Holy shit. That is fucking genius.
Hey, sorry, what's going on? I got an invite. Is that you, Teresa?
Hell yeah.
Teresa? Oh,
motherfucker.
oh, what up, Namrock?
What's up, cuz? What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Oh, nothing. Just chilling here. I thought might have you on the earpiece now, but I guess we face to face.
Fucking ass. You have an awesome light show going on in the background, and I'm here on my comfortable recliner. And I'm using this thing. For you, those of you who don't know, I don't know if I pull the mic away, you can't hear me, right? Like, not to plug a company, but this is Apogee Digital. The thing about Apogee Digital, and by the way, it's a lavalier for a lot of the people who are audio illiterate. Me being an audio geek. Do I sound pretty good, Jaime?
You sound good to me.
Cool, awesome. This thing is a Thunderbolt lavalier microphone that plugs into your iPhone. Well, it's iOS centric, which, you know, we'll get into that tech fucking geek bullshit later. But anyway, yeah, you're going to be my love guru today, apparently.
All right. Well, I appreciate the shout out.
You were elected, but for those of you watching,
let's use the guru very lightly on that one here.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm one to admit the best advice comes from the people that, quite frankly, make the most mistakes and learn from them. So,
yeah,
and that's in all sincerity. I mean, I wouldn't have you on camera if I didn't, you know, appreciate your advice. So,
all right.
Anyway,
just want to update you on this. I just found out I've had this for a while. My little light setup is through a second generation smart light. It costs $13. It hooks up just 3 LED lights that are remote controlled through this little gizmo gadget here. And you can get it on the Amazon, and it's very cheap. And I just noticed that my sticky part is sticking up, so there you go. Ooh, look at that, an unboxing too.
That's perfect, man. Well, like I said, these aren't plugs, but you know, they sure you know, they work. Pretty handy. What I do want to plug is I just noticed that my cousin is watching. Brandy, missed you today. I had to put the boy to sleep. But I just recently got in contact with my long lost cousin from my own side, my mom's brother, my mom's older brother. And fuck, man, I mean, it's that calls for another podcast, but I won't get into that shit. But I'm just
must be nice, man. That must be good.
She was nearby, but timing wasn't right. So anyway, and my other cousin, my pseudo cousin, I call him Chris. He's watching, and I do want to plug his company, Big Daddy Cleaners. If you're a pot smoker like I am, and I'm pretty sure you know you've partaken in the past and whatever, not to throw you under the bus, but it's a product to clean glass pipes and bong. And fuck, man, I've seen it in action with my own eyes, and I wasn't sold on it at first, but then when I tried it out, I was like, holy shit. Literally, I've seen some stuff at head shops where they sell it, but this is pretty fucking gnarly. And maybe that'll call for a demonstration live sometime, but fuck, I'll just want to plug him in right now. But anyway, what I really want to do is plug this in. For those of you who are not familiar with Jaime, he goes by Psycho Sane. him and I collaborated on a music track, which I'll paste the link to the YouTube video here. I believe was it a year ago?
So that was like about a year ago.
Before the
Or
Game of Thrones season 7, right?
That's right. It was, I think, one of the last things we saw before we put it on was, or that I saw, because I do the binge watching. It was, I hope someone's caught up if you're watching it, but just a lot of the dead rising
Up,
up
dude. I'm completely
and someone skedaddling on a boat.
yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Uh,
And it was that I got the chills, and I went, "Oh my gosh, this is time to put something to paper, put something to write."
yeah. That and fuck, man. I mean, that song started off as an instrumental that I produced, and then you just neatly waltzed in. But for those of you watching and I guess listening, I mean, not everyone has visual. Check out the track. It was kind of a passion project type of thing. To be quite frank, I just don't, don't have that intent of playing music for money anymore because no one was knocking down my door playing to request playing my originals. I was better off in a cover band, but again, that's for another podcast. Let's talk about this for a second. But first and foremost, before I get into the love guru thing, I wanted to talk about Logan Paul. Um, are you familiar with what happened?
Yes, and I didn't I've heard the name, but I wasn't familiar with who he was. But yeah, as soon as I saw him, um, I recognized him from his vines and some of his YouTube things. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember him being a Vine artist. I don't like calling them stars because, come on, dude, everyone's a fucking star nowadays. Um,
yeah, yeah.
but I believe here's the catch. Here's what I'm ultimately trying to state, and you can agree with me or disagree with me. His primary audience right now, um, ages they range from 7 through I think 15. So for those of you watching who do not know this guy Logan Paul, you can Google search on Wikipedia. He'll pop up everywhere, especially right now. Um,
Yeah.
he posted, and I don't know how this got through the YouTube police because I don't know. He uploaded a video, but first and foremost, here's what I find out, Jaime. I found out that uh, he hyped up this trip to I think it's Aokigahara in Japan, um, for the for this video that was controversial. He hyped it
Hmm.
up, he got everyone excited, and everyone eventually watched it. He filmed it. He didn't edit out the parts he should have edited. He should have stopped filming, in my opinion. And he went ahead and uploaded it anyway, and got past the YouTube police, and got posted. And I think it got over 6 million views before it got removed, and I think it got
Six
re-uploaded.
million in 24 hours.
Yeah,
That's the report that I heard.
I'm like, you just fucking made money. You monetized the fucking video over a suicide. It's like, man, I don't know what's. And then I watched his apology video. I'm like, this motherfucker, dude. He's an actor, obviously. I don't. I'm not fooled. I mean, I've been around actors and producers and singers my whole life. Man, you're trained to lie. There's a technique to it. There's a whole uh, psychology behind it. More of a psychiatry behind it. But I don't know, man. I didn't like it. I really didn't agree with it. I know who he is. I know who watches him. I have my younger sibling that knows who he is, but does is not into
Yeah.
him. But I have other in-laws that are younger, um, and they were quite frankly kind of disturbed by it, and they didn't know what to make of it. So um, I had to stand my ground.
I agree with you, bro. He was, I mean, I'm not trying to make the guy more money or try to send him more traffic or anything, but if you've seen any of the news reports, the way he reacts, I mean, he finds out what's going on. He realizes that he put himself in a really bad situation that he knew he was going to have to kind of talk his way out of, or that he was going to get criticized over.
Yeah.
But he went in there, and I mean, he's like wearing this goofy unicorn or dragon hat or something, just this dorky looking thing. And he's like half between being his character of like, oh, I can't believe it, but I have to remain goofy, and panicking, which it's fine if he's panicky, doesn't know what to do, but I mean, he still broadcasts everything after, including the the unfortunate victim of their own suicide. And yeah, he didn't have to upload or put the image of the body, even if it's blurred out. I mean, it's disrespectful. Yes, there's tones of that's what the forest was meant for, and there's already like kind of a explanation to um, and then come, and stay in that character and then do this apology video. I mean, if you know, and you know me, I'm always an ass. I'm always trying to be joking, make people laugh, and there's a serious tone. You know when to be professional. Now you have to go between. He goes from like to all of a sudden just, and I just want to apologize. So, because I just had no idea. Like, you dude, you're full of shit because you've been doing that the whole time. You use emotion to manipulate.
Yeah.
He knew he knew what he was doing at that point. If his site doesn't get, or his page doesn't get shut down, I mean, whatever type of monetization he might get, you're feeding into this guy who really shouldn't have put that up, and he should just stop. He should change his channel, take a break, hiatus, do something like that. Just almost clear his name in a sense.
Yeah, because,
Yeah, this is my opinion.
dude, I had 13-year-olds arguing with me and defending this guy on Instagram. And well, first and foremost, the mistake I made, and I admitted to it. I use a repost app on my phone, and I reposted the incorrect videos, trying to get the correct video that now this, which I'll give a shout out to, thank you, covered without the full video. And I guess the video that
Hmm.
for some reason uploaded and there was no caption, no likes, no nothing. It was actually the recorded video, the last of the snippet when they actually zoom into the dead body hanging from the tree. A buddy of mine, he's like, "Hey, dude, you know you have it on your Instagram handle. Why don't you remove that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I went and checked. I was like, "Oh shit!" So I went and deleted it. Cool. I admitted to it. That's my mistake. But point being, um, I mean, shit. I mean, I think people were fucking resharing that now, and I don't think they're helping the cause. But I think now they're just using it as ammunition to ban Logan Paul permanently from the internet. Is it due diligence and justice? I maybe just take a break. I mean, I like the guy. I've met him before where I work. Um, and quite frankly, I thought he was just some random white boy. But um, I'm like, okay, I thought he was gonna ask me for like change or a cigarette or some weed or whatever. But I'm like, oh wait, the closer I got to him, I'm like, oh shit, that's the dude from the internet. Cool guy.
Yeah.
Cool guy. I mean, he didn't give me a weird vibe. I mean, you know when you meet somebody, immediately, like, oh shit, fucking spidey senses, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I agree with you. He should lay low. He shouldn't. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you know how this guy rolls, but he's not gonna lay low. I already know that, and he's just gonna fucking probably push the envelope more because apparently he gets really nervous under high stress situations. Which I'm like, okay, dude, you're a 22-year-old man. You shouldn't learn how to handle that or develop some type of method for you to stop being so goddamn childish and say on camera next to a dead fucking body. You never seen a body before? Never
Yeah, just kind of the
never
way.
seen a dead guy before? It's like, no.
Okay, he wasn't there with himself though. He wasn't out there by himself. That's the thing. Whatever kind
Well,
of
they do.
like
I don't
group
know
or
what the fuck
crew,
they are, but
or film crew, sound crew, whatever he has out there, Um, I mean, if he's the main person who's going to pull the trigger on what kind of content he's putting out there, and what he thinks is too far of a line to cross, then he should know that, oh, I shouldn't put a dead body or extreme violence, or animal cruelty, or there's got to be a line. And at one point he goes, okay, well, let's just broadcast the whole video as that we did it. But the thing about the video too, I mean, if in the way that he apologized and said that, I know I could be better, and I'm working to be better, like that is just that line. It's cliche already,
Yeah.
I want to be better than I am now, and forgive me and give me a chance to be better. That sounds like, um, recently with a lot of the people, the men in power and men in high places that were, making advances, sexual advances to, lower people on their crew.
Yeah.
It's that same thing. I want to be a better person. I want to do this. But he could have taken what he found and used whatever type of talent he has for bringing content and made a spin on it that it was more of, not showing the body, a solemn feel, this is a problem that people have, and turn into more of a awareness of the situation. Because that's what exactly what the news media did. They said, look at this jackass, but really what you should consider is that you're encouraging this, and here we will give you a number to reach out. I mean, he could have done it himself. Then he wouldn't have to be backpedaling so much. But I think it's because he has this kind of like, oh, this is my demographic. If you're saying 7 to 13, 7 to
Yeah.
15, look at a fucking unicorn on my head, that it didn't cross his mind. There's one thing about being nervous and acting on the spot, ad-libbing, crossing the line while you're in the act, but then taking that footage and not knowing what to do with it to kind of present it in a way that is more tact. That's the part where I think you kind of messed up.
Yeah. And to add to that, not to throw fucking lighter fluid on the bonfire here, but he should have cut away uh, from from the body, or told his DP like, hey dude, just let's we're gonna have to move this way, and maybe get in front of the camera away from the body and state what he saw, but not fucking show it. And
Yeah.
show some fucking empathy, dude. It's like, come on, man. Like, are you that stupid? Are you that cold-blooded? Are you that ignorant? um
There's a thing about him like being your life. It's my life, so I'm going to film everything that happens during this event with my life. But there's a difference between, um, it's a good idea when you're filming something to film more than what you need,
yeah.
to go off the cuff and keep that, but not when it extends into something real. And I think that was like, I don't know if this is, I don't remember, but the Twilight Zone movie, where I think it was Vic Morrow and one of the actors in there. There's a scene where like a helicopter crashes on an old flashback, and the helicopter comes down. He's running with two kids, and the helicopter comes
Yeah.
down. It's a freak accident, and it kills them.
Yes, it chopped them up basically. And
Was that used
uh,
in the movie, or did they stop filming, or did they just change the scene? But that's what I mean, is that there's a line. You film, you keep everything moving, and then you go, we don't use that. That is a line that's being crossed, and
right.
it's okay to be like, dude, we just wasted a bunch of money, a bunch of time. It's okay, because you're having some bit of kind of emotional, sympathetic intellect that you have to use on that too. That provides longevity for you. It does show that you're multifaceted, that you can use your talent for other things. But just to like that, because that was what was making me mad. One, it was him just kind of like making this like goofy face. Like I can see the likes or the subscribers popping in the back of his mind while he made that nervous little tick. Like he knows
Yeah.
he was going to go viral. But then this other the little producer, someone who was there, she's like, "We just found a dead body." I'm like, "Why do you look so fucking happy?" Like, dude, no.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, it's just weird for me to watch that.
It is for me
Yeah.
too. And I mean, I just want to, I mean, and it comes at a time where we've had two, three, I lost track, but we have Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell that committed suicide just like that. And, that that to me, it's like, fuck, man, that's, I've never seen that before. And I know there's a bunch of websites where you can actually go and, you know, fucking Mr. Nuclear Rock over here knows all of them. But, um, you know, when you're faced in front of that and you see it, you're like, I don't know, if that was you and I out in Aokigahara and fucking saw that, I'm like, whoa, hey, dude, I think we need to go get some authorities and tell them there's a dead body here. Now, let's go. I wouldn't go next to it. It's basically a fucking it's a crime scene, dude. What if it was foul play? You don't know that, and you're in a different
Yeah.
country, so you don't know. But granted, you're going to a fucking forest that's known, that's named to be the suicide forest, and you're going in there thinking you're not gonna find something. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to get your take on that and really kind of, you know, shed. Like, there's not much light I can shed on it, but the only thing I can tell Logan Paul, and you know, he's not gonna watch this regardless. The thing I would tell him in person is like, dude, lay low. I'm sure he has enough money to cruise by. Um, just be a hermit for a while, and I don't know, go to fucking hot yoga classes. I don't know, fuck, do something.
Reassess what your goal is. Is it to get views? Is it to go viral? But what lines you're going to cross, because not because of the flack only you're getting here and how it affects your business model, but um, once the, we'll say the net neutrality situation, or say an EMP is fired off or something, and that's not your business anymore.
Right.
You live with the choices you've made morally and how people affect you. That's always been my thing. Is your bank accounts, your money, your status. Those things don't matter. It's how you treat people, because when those things disappear, it's how you treated people when you're asking, "May I borrow that pot that isn't the one I'm using to take a dump in?"
Right.
I need to eat. So, okay, yeah, you treated us well. Let's trade up. So
What
you have good morals. I know that you're good. So
what you bring up too is that you know, it affects people around him too because well, I know his brother, Jake Paul, is also a big YouTuber too, and I'm sure. I mean, it wasn't him that went on the force and filmed it; it was his brother. He gets seen in public, he's gonna get shit for it, of course, man. And that's fucked up because he indirectly affected somebody else's life, and of course, he's gonna defend his brother no matter what. If he rolls like that, I don't know. I don't know his brother very well, but um, wow, I mean that's guilty by association, man. That's pretty fucked up. So, um, but here's what I really, really wanted to talk about is I don't. I'm not going to mention names just to protect the innocent, but apparently, I've been asked for advice by, you know, teenagers in high school. They're about to graduate already, but and I don't really know what to say. I left them on red, which I feel kind of bad, and I know they're just waiting for a fucking reply. But one of them's a female amongst a group, and they all play sports together, so I'm kind of familiar with all of them. But check this out and tell me, give me your advice. I'm gonna read what well, she didn't text it to me directly. It was in the group, and I guess she was asking in totality amongst the group like what she should do, and she typed this out, Jaime. She says, "So my boyfriend broke up with me in February, which is last year, and at the time I was really heartbroken, but I got over it quickly. It's not easy. Um, he still texts me randomly saying he misses us or misses hanging out with me." And she follows by, "Every time this happens, I just pretend that I'm over it, but I don't think I truly am." Um, she also said, "I can't stop thinking about how happy I was with him. I haven't been the same way since. I don't think depressed, but I haven't been happy in a while. Which, as soon as I read that, I was like, "Fuck." Um, so she said that, and then another a couple days later, she said he texted me today in how he hopes I find a great guy, but then started talking about how many girls he's hung out with and that he's hooked up with his ex again and all that shit. And she basically screamed for help in a text saying, "How do I respond to any of that? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say." And ultimately, what grabbed me about um, this is a form of gaslighting to me, and a young form of gaslighting. But this is the type of shit that forms perspective in young women and men. So I'm quick to give advice about this stuff, but I want your take on it. So, um, fuck, I mean, I would assume, and you tell me this, it's extremely difficult to stop just thinking about your ex, right?
Yes. Um, it's tough to think about people that you care about and that you put trust into, and even have built a story or a future with intentions, goals, that type of thing. You build that. You have this expectation. Um, you talk about like the expectation too is that there's good, through the bad. We're gonna make it through. We always have each other. You lean that way.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, if you rely on the other person to be kind of either a not an exact match always, because it's not about being the two exact things, but it's that being kind of like a counterbalance. One person is the impulsive one and kind of spontaneous. The other person is planny, and they make sure that everything has to go according to plan. Well, sometimes those work, and it's chaos, destruction, rebirth, that type of thing. But what happens is like when that goes through and the expectations aren't met, um, and you leave, and it leaves in a weird way. It's not always explosive destruction, but you go back to those memories, and then we always romanticize the past. We always get nostalgic about the history that we wanted to build, or the what we were willing to accept, even if it wasn't perfect, because we're told that even though it doesn't feel good and it's not good all the time, that's okay. And it's not necessarily the case, but that makes it hard to like forget about or stop thinking about an ex, and you'll tell yourself things to make you not think you're not over, but find reasons to not truly move on, or let go, or find yourself being an important part of that relationship that it was. You brought something to the table. Why didn't it work? Assess what you did, what the other did, and instead of blaming, find out like, well, was that really, really working out, or was I just trudging through to hope that whatever dreams that we had talked about
Hmm.
just came to fruition? And just that whole hindsight, all looking back, it's hard to let go of an ex, but um, to stay in contact with the ex
Well, I was just about to get to that.
can. What
Yeah, keep going.
was that?
You read my fucking mind. You just said it. Keep in contact with them.
There's times when you can keep in contact with, but if you're trying to if you're trying to really get over that person and see if they're like a support, like it's a financial support situation, it might be a little bit different. If there's kids involved, it might be a different situation. But if that's person and there's no financial real thing that's holding you together, and there's not a responsibility to something to really hold it there, then um, yeah, you have to find out like, do I need this person to be happy to survive? And the only way to do that, unfortunately, is to step away. It's the hardest thing to do, and I tell you firsthand, the hardest thing to do for me is to really completely step away from an ex, and every impulse because of that nostalgic that's been built up, and those memories and that history, and um, what you tell yourself you're willing to. I can go back and I can make it work. You have to just push it all away and say, can I make it on my own?
Yeah.
Because this person, even if it's not a choice and they're living their life over here and you're living yours, if that person dies, what are you going to do? Are you strong enough yourself? And once you do that, um, it's like detoxing, especially over long periods of time. Or if you've been through trauma together, you've been through emotional trauma or chaotic situations that affect your parts of your brain, and they attach to memory, and then you see or smell something and it reminds you and it builds up again, and that's like a chemical dependency. It's this weird thing.
Yeah.
It's like pain chemical dependency. But you have to do the detox. So when you do that, if you find out you're okay, great. But if you find out you really need that person, then you have to find out if how they're doing without you too. And if they find out that they're fine without you and they really don't need that support, and it's at that point you might have to just freaking pack that little stick, throw a bandana around it, throw in your freaking trumpet mute and a couple fucking glass pipes from your buddy's place, and just kick it on down the road.
Yeah. What's funny that you mentioned is I don't know. This is just like it's an identity that you, I guess, not just you have an identity before you meet this person, obviously. And then that identity morphs into it's like a new person. So what you're asking yourself to do is to move away from that person that basically you invested a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. Um, you're asking yourself to just completely go later, like in cold heartedness, like just jam from it. And
Yeah.
I think it's harder um, as you get older to do that. But right now, I mean, this female's only 17 years old. Um,
Emotions are high, hormones are high.
yeah,
Even a man, even a boy, it's the same thing.
not,
Everything is the
I,
most important thing you're first experiencing, and it's blinding, man.
yes,
At that age.
yes, that's my whole point. It's like not only that, but it's like this is where it starts, and this is where a lot of um, disinformation and a lot of like just really bad advice comes from because um, if if they reach out to adults that quite frankly are very irrational and don't really see um, both sides of the coin, the positives in it and stuff like that, this could very well ruin her. And this is where people have fucking issues, man. And I, as a loyal servant to my people, human, my, before the
Oh, okay, cool.
before the alien invasion, of course. But yeah, this is. I mean, the only thing I can tell her right now is that um, if she doesn't think that she's depressed, but she hasn't been happy in a while, she really needs to not reevaluate her life, but make a list of things that she's grateful for. Believe it or not, I mean, a lot of these youngsters like to type and do this, but there's something about a pen and a piece of paper.
Hmm.
Call it synergetic, but it's I don't know what it is. It's you write it down. You write everything you're grateful for. Um, Even if it's something minute like fucking running water, um, fucking soap, deodorant, fucking pairs of underwear, whatever.
Yeah.
Write that shit down because it's like, you know, I don't know where these behaviors come from. Everyone blames biology, but I strongly believe a lot of it starts in the home, and when you can't go to your parents or your brothers and sisters to talk about this shit, and I would know because I grew up with a single mom, and I was an only child till I was 19. So I have
You
no,
sound like someone I know, fool.
yeah, dude. And yeah, right. It's like
I moved out when I was 19. I was raised by a single mother, my mama. Yeah.
so it's okay. You can relate because you have your friends, and when you don't have that much family, your family's very small. Like you can count it with one hand. Um,
Yeah.
you have to you have to make them your family somehow. And there's a lot of trial and error going on, but you eventually know who you could literally, you know, you know, take a bullet for, so to speak, but for lack of a better term. But her is it sounds to me like um no one's really coaching her through the whole thing. So the one thing I would tell her is that um it's hard to ignore the noise, especially if this dude is telling her how many chicks he's hooking up with, which is kind of foul, man. I mean, I can't relate to that because I wasn't that type of teenage boy. I mean, I know a lot of my peers were, but they changed eventually. But she's asking, how do I respond to any of this? I would say don't even respond.
Yeah. Because there's going to be enough times when you, and that I don't think that changes necessarily with age too. I mean, there's um I know situations where your ex is telling you about the amount of people that they're hooking up with. They're pointing them out to you. They're like,
Like a scorecard.
why are you giving me this information? There's no need to give me that
Right.
information. And here's the thing. Young people, it's hard for them to draw boundaries because they want to get that love. They want to feel that connection with somebody else, to feel whatever they're lacking inside themselves. So they look for somebody, even if it's bad, even if they're willing to accept a certain amount of crap and pain from that other person. Now, if I put myself in this girl's shoes, even at my age, and my ex is telling me about who they're hooking up with and giving me names and giving me places, and I say, do not tell me that because I'm trying to do something for myself. Even though I care about you, I need you to stop. That other person keeps crossing those boundaries. That's the situation there where that person needs to cut off communication. If boundaries can't be respected, they need to get away. There's no use, regardless of how she cares about this guy. There's no use in her just staying in contact so she can hear this because it's just doing damage. It's literally she's accepting the damage for no reason. What does she think? I mean, I'm not trying to like be hard on her because we all make these mistakes. But what does she think by her presence being there, just being fed poison, is going to show him that there's any worth in him trying to get back with her? It's not. It shows that he has control, that he can do no wrong, and she'll stay as long as he needs. And almost keeping her as like a bull in the pen, keeping her there just in case he may want her or need her. And he knows he has this other connection there that may boost his ego,
Right.
or even it could even be a vulnerability in him, thinking that even though he might be hooking up with these people, he wants that real connection he had with her. And in case all of that blows up in his face, he may still have this other person there that can give him what he needs to fill the void that's inside him. You're talking about two broken people trying to fill each other's emotional baggage and empty spaces.
Right. Exactly. Because
Cut them out. You got to cut them out. If I mean, if you, that would be my advice if I was saying this. Is you just got to take that time away and you find a friend. If it can't be a family member because your father's not around or your mother's or whatever, or vice versa, go somewhere else except to the music nowadays.
yeah.
Because all of the music nowadays talks about hooking up and the pain is so great and love is a battlefield. And that's a lot older than I was thinking, but like just the idea that it's supposed to be horrible and painful and is codependent and it's beautiful because of that. Like, no, like it's not supposed to be like that. That's not what it's supposed to be. There's flares of intensity of everything, but it doesn't have to be that way. Your life isn't supposed to be this roller coaster of heartbreak and emotion. It can be a calming place of just respect, boundaries, and flares of moments of, oh my gosh, I didn't know that if I cared about myself this much, and find another person that respects themselves and their boundaries and knows who they are, good and bad, we come together and there can still be these moments of great passion, great intensity, but without this acceptance of just being a doormat. Uh, she has to get away, and someone will come, but she has to be true to herself, and she will find it. And when she's not looking for it, she puts a little intention out there, says, when it's right, it'll come,
Yeah.
then it'll come. If she prays, pray. If she does manifestations, do manifestations, whatever it works, but I believe it'll find it there.
What's interesting is that, this female's 17 years old, going on 18 this year, and this is kind of the gray area where things shouldn't be too serious and things kind of should be serious, but in a different sense. But the objective should still be stated. Hey, look, these are relationship. This is relationship practice. That's why good relationship practice. That's why I see a lot of high school sweethearts. They had a lot of good relationship practice, and that practice turns into fluidity. It turns into harmony. It turns into shit inseparability. Like you guys will die together. It's like it's a beautiful thing, and I know not everyone's that fortunate. But sometimes you do find that everyone says dance partner, but I can't really relate to that. I like to say perfect bandmate because you and I have played in bands, and when you have a shitty bandmate or plural bandmates, and when you actually have one that you're like, it's great to jam with, but it's always the one that got away, or always the band that got away, or you're in a really good one, but you're like, God damn, this fucking sucks. It's miserable. Like, band's good, but I don't want to be in this thing because of the people.
Um,
Yeah.
you gotta go. Sometimes you gotta go solo, and it sounds weird, but check it out. If you're constantly looking for a bandmate, you're constantly looking for the perfect band partner or family people just around you as far as someone you're going to grow old with or whatnot. Here's the thing. Um, that other person, if you're looking for them to complete your happiness or to complete that other side of it, it's a beautiful thing to hope for. But the part you get the most elation from is when you're on your own, doing your own thing, head down, even if it's a state of like your own therapy. I'll give you an example. I don't usually play guitar, but I've been needing something to do. So I pick up my guitar and I play for hours. And I may not be, friggin' super, Kyle Wild Child Guerrero, but I'm I like to play, and I start getting in this zone where I'm doing this because I like it. I feel like I'm increasing my skill. It's getting fun for me. You keep your head down, you do that, and then you put it down, and your problems are there again. But you realize that for those 2, 3 hours of your life, you were just there with yourself, making yourself happy, being in a focus.
Yeah.
If you do that long enough with your life and you keep inside of your own contentment with talking to people or freaking making cinnabons, whatever it is that makes you happy, smoking weed, whatever people do, but it's truly like this thing that you really put all yourself into, and you put your head down and do that, people see this, they get inspiration from you, and you start attracting like-minded individuals that when they take their head up from that passion they have, they look up and they see somebody else that's kind of like their level. And that's when you find kind of that perfect bandmate.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly looking outside for somebody to kind of feed you what your thing is, you're letting somebody else tell you your own story and give you your own drug. It's kind of weird.
They're basically
But I mean,
don't play.
go solo, Edgar. Let's go solo. That's what
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Um,
Let's go.
what's funny is that well, not this female, but one of the males in the common thread. Um,
Yeah.
their their genius teenage boy Vice was like, what was it? It was, and I'm gonna try to impersonate this as best as possible. Nah, fuck that fool. Come party with us. We'll fucking Snapchat it, and we'll make sure like he fucking gets it, and we'll keep checking our phones and make sure if it read seen or the little fucking like. I was just like, God damn.
So let's take so this is what they're doing, and here's where it's a fault. Okay, I've always heard that, and I believe it. If you seek violence, violence will come find you. If
Correct.
you go seeking to kill someone, dig two graves.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
It's so true because look, your friends are trying to help you out. This is like the mama bear syndrome, and I know you would probably have it too. Someone touches a hair on your head, someone looks at you wrong, and your mom hears about it or sees about it. Dude, it's like that they're on the list. You've got the cousins, the tias, they're ready to just like, okay, like, you want me to go break their knees? I'll go break their knees.
It's
You know, we'll shoot up their
fuck
house.
yeah,
And you're like,
yeah.
it's not that serious. Like it's really not that big of a deal. It was a breakup. They're like, no, we're gonna take their toes and we're gonna rip them off. You're like, oh,
We
okay.
just want to talk to her.
But check it out. Now your friends are there for you too, and just for them to say that, it's just to know that they're down. Like they don't like that people are hurting you because they care about you, and that's good. But now what they're doing is they're actually saying, okay, all your focus and attention is on trying to get back at this person, is trying to create havoc for them, is trying to make their life miserable. So instead of just having you do it, we're going to help you to put all of our energy and attention to show them how important they are. We're going to put all that energy over here to make their life. And then when, ha 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 ha, they go home and what you're left with, you're left with however many friends plus your bad intentions toward this other person now coming back as a poison three times. And now your friends aren't there because they got to go to work, they got to sleep. Dude, and they're going to tell you this. I swear to God, friends will tell you this. Like, oh fuck, we sent the message and he's coming back and I don't know what to say. Don't worry about it. You're like, don't worry about it. You're the one who said let's Snapchat it, put it up on freaking poles out there. It's coming back to me. I can't sleep. You're fine because you're over there with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. You're fine. So like now I'm left with this. So you can either go over there and try to make your peace
Hmm.
or say your goodbyes. But if you go over there and you try to fight, you're still engaged. And if you're the one who's losing sleep and the other person's like, oh, I'm looking up, I don't care, dude, step away. It's not going to help you.
Yeah, it's
It
not.
might make you tougher a little bit. Dude, my skin is thick because it's like exposure therapy, right?
Yeah,
I see the spider so much and I'm afraid of it. I see it, now it's crawling on me. Now I'm taking a bite of the spider myself and like I'm not afraid. But eventually you're like, okay, now I'm gonna put it on my nutsack and then it bites you and you're like, oh, the spider bit me. Well, what did you think was gonna happen? You get playing with a fucking spider. Don't don't do that. Just accept it's a spider. It might bite you. It might be in your hair. Okay, it's probably behind your toilet seat right now. If you're sitting on the toilet watching this, it's probably right behind you. You don't even know. You're going for a wipe. It's there. But I'm saying just
present.
avoid it if you can. Okay, do it with your own arañas by yourself. You
Um,
can't go after extra. It doesn't work, man. It's poison. It's just poison. It's an old saying, man. If you uh, hating somebody else and putting all your attention and anger and all that malintention to somebody else, man, it's like you drinking the poison, expecting the other person to die. It's an old cliche, but it is so true. It
yeah,
is so true. It's a waste of time.
at the time,
But some people don't wake up so quick. It takes a while.
I'm like, speaking of time, it's 3 till midnight. I should have charged my phone before I did this. This little stupid
Plus New Japan is on it here.
percent. I'm like, fuck. Um,
Plus I hear that what is it? Chris Jericho is fighting
well,
someone tonight, right?
I'm looking at he goes by Bob, but his real name is Kevin. He's my buddy. He's my long time buddy. I've known him for 15, 16 years. Um, but yeah, fucking NJPW, New Japan Wrestling. I guess Jericho signed with them, and I guess it's the Tokyo Dome. I
Omega.
forget the name.
Dude, I've been seeing these promos, these shoots, or what they're doing, these promos. And I'm like, dude, I want to see this. And I'm over here
Well,
talking to
I've
you
seen
about fucking spiders.
Lesnar and Angle had an epic match over in New Japan. The culture is different. It's kind of like Pride. There you go, Jericho versus Omega. There you go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Pride, where the crowd is different. They're very quiet and they wait for just spontaneity, and or like a very like fucking
High
extra
flying.
fucking bump in a move, dude. Um, yeah, dude. I'm not. See, this guy's working me up now, but perfect.
I know, that's what I'm saying too. Dude, I don't even watch. I've been watching these old school let's go like '90s and Attitude Era and NWO. Just been going through like in the past and watching all this stuff. But
I think it's
that the promos for this one has brought me to watch these old things, and I want to watch this now.
well, I have WWE Network, so I get to watch them whenever I want. And my
I've got the network. It's
favorite,
here. I'm gonna come for your brother. Give the calm the hell down.
my favorite fucking binges is the TLC matches. I'm like, God, I could go on forever, but it's just so fucking painful to watch. But I'm like, I give those people so much props, dude, because that takes a lot of balls to do that, man. Unless you're Cliff Conway diving off a fucking, was it a balcony onto a fucking snowman on New Year's Eve, fucking.
You're invoking the history of the janitor now.
Check this out. Well, let's do this again tomorrow. There's another question that I didn't get into.
Yeah, man.
Plus, I don't know how.
I'm happy to come and talk with you and stuff. So cool.
Be real here. How long can we keep people's attention for? Give it a time limit. I don't know. I say maybe maximum, what, 30, 45 minutes?
Attention? You mean during a live?
Yeah, like actually getting them engaged. It's like, not to talk shit about people on Facebook,
Oh,
but just people in general, human beings right now. I'm lucky if I even like get them to watch 30 seconds of something. It's like, and here it's like everyone's like, "Oh, what are you podcast for? What are you podcast for?" I'm like, this is my free platform to fucking not just give advice, but talk shit and
yeah.
show my actual face. It's like I don't fucking hide, dude. Everyone knows who I am, but in all sincerity, um, this is kind of my contribution and growth, because the needs of the spirit, and this is coming from a very atheistic point of view, but the needs of the spirit is like, if you don't give back to somebody else in any kind of manner, um, the revolving door of prosperity just does not spin. So it's
Yeah.
maybe I'm like, I have a gift, and it's not a gift of gab. I know some people are like, oh, you have the art of the bullshit. I'm like, well, you just said keyword art. Bullshitting is an art, but I mean, it's not what you say. Um, it's how you say it, of course, and the content in between. You kind of have to spin it your own way that people actually fucking understand, and quite frankly, not gaslight people. And that's basically what as soon as I read about MK Ultra and gaslighting, um, it's not going to go away. It's still going to be in existence, and that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. Um, um, I want to.
I'll do my research. I'll watch. I'll play Mortal Kombat Ultra and talk about that.
Watch the Elsa Gate videos and tell me what you think. So I still think that, because I'm still finding videos on my child's fucking iPad after I fly God knows how many, and YouTube just did a sweep on it. But anyway, for those of you watching or listening, I'll paste the link to the collaboration of me and Jaime's Winter is Coming track. Also, I do have a podcast on iTunes, and I've had Jaime's Psycho Sang on it before. I'll paste that as well. But this is the first Ed Namrock Alive podcast. And quite frankly, I think I have more people engaging in this than I did with, look at Kevin's already fucking hooking us up with a link. allwrestling.org.
Hey man, I know. Like we got to make sure there's a time for it to do it. Obviously, if we get into a time frame where there's more people, more audience, let me know. I'm down. Usually around this time, my brain's starting to turn off,
Yeah,
but
I,
I'm still down to do it. One man's pain is another man's pleasure, so I'm glad to be here and talk.
we're gonna try to time this tomorrow. I'm gonna do some research to see what the peak hour of viewing is. So um, yeah, we'll revisit
I will wait to
tomorrow.
start.
So adios, peeps. Hey, al rato, vato.